morning, Mom. What are you going to make?
Well, today I'm going to make a traditional Greek dessert called Karydopita, which is called walnut cake. It is something that is eaten throughout the year, and it's something really easy to make.
For the walnut cake, we need 10 eggs, 10 tablespoons sugar, 10 tablespoons semolina, 2 teaspoons cinnamon, 2 teaspoons clove powder, 4 tablespoons cognac, and 10 tablespoons walnut.
Okay, now I'm going to give you a few more details with regards to the ingredients. As Alexandros said, we need 10 eggs which have been separated, the egg yolks and the egg whites. We said 10 tablespoons of walnuts which have been crushed, 10 tablespoons of sugar, 10 tablespoons of semolina, the cinnamon and clove powder, and the cognac. I will begin now with the first part of the Karydopita cake, in which we will beat the egg whites.
Okay, Mom, can you read us the directions?
One by one, I'll read them. Step 1 is we beat the egg whites. First, we're going to beat the egg whites so that they become fluffy into merengue. As we can see now, the egg whites have become fluffy. So once they become fluffy, we stop mixing. Okay, step 2. We take the 10 egg yolks and we add the 10 tablespoons of sugar, and we mix it until it becomes creamy and nice and yellow. So, as we can see, after 10 to 15 minutes, the mixture of the eggs and the sugar have become creamy. So, when they become creamy, we then add the egg whites. If the egg whites have been beat correctly, they should fall out in one piece, just like I showed you. So, we add the egg whites. And then we mix again for about 5 minutes. Okay, after we have beat the eggs and the sugar, we must add the 10 tablespoons of semolina. So we add that. We add the clove powder and the cinnamon. And then we add a little cup, or like we said, 4 tablespoons of cognac, or it can be any other liqueur that is to your liking. Now we must mix this again for about another 10 minutes, because as you can see, there is no flour, there is no baking powder. So in order for this cake to rise, it must be beat a little bit more than the normal cake in order to make it nice and fluffy. So now we're going to beat our mixture a little bit more. Okay, after beating the ingredients, we add our final ingredient, which is the walnut. And we'll beat for another 10 minutes. After we have beat our mixture for about 10 minutes, we're going to pour it into our pan. Our pan must have a little bit of oil and brushed around so that the cake does not stick to the pan. The oven also, and our oven should be preheated 15 minutes before baking. And now we add the mixture into the pan. We need to take a spoon because the walnuts might stay at the bottom, so we have to make sure that all the mixture is emptied out. And as you can see, we need a big bowl in order for this recipe to become fluffy. Okay. Before putting the cake into the oven, take a spoon and just give it a mix so that the walnuts are a little bit spread out. And then we put our pan into the oven, which has been preheated at 170, and we need at least 50 minutes for it to bake. Good luck to us.
And for the syrup, we need 300 grams water, 300 grams sugar, 1 teaspoon lemon, and boil.
So for the syrup, we add the 300 grams of granulated sugar, we add the 300 grams of water, and 1 tablespoon of lemon, so it gives it a little bit of taste. And we boil. Okay. So we boil the water and the sugar and the 1 tablespoon of lemon until the sugar melts, and we let it boil for about 5 minutes to have our syrup.
Now I will repeat the recipe. For the walnut cake we need 10 eggs, 10 tablespoons sugar, 10 tablespoons semolina, 2 teaspoons cinnamon, 2 teaspoons clove powder, 4 tablespoons cognac, and 10 tablespoons walnuts. And the direction are:
we mix the sugar with the egg yolks for about 15 minutes. We beat the egg white separately, then we add it to the mixture. After, we add the semolina and beat again for 10 minutes. Then we add the cinnamon, clove powder, walnuts, and cognac, and we beat everything together for about 15 minutes so it becomes light and fluffy. After the 15 minutes, we add our mixture to a pan which has been oiled a little bit, and then we put it in our oven, which also has been preheated at 170 degrees Celsius, and we bake for about an hour.
And finally, for the syrup, we need 300 grams of water, 300 grams of sugar, 1 teaspoon lemon, and boil.
So, our walnut cake has been baked. It is now a little bit hot. I let it cool for about 15 minutes. The syrup had been boiled over an hour ago, so the syrup is cool. We have 2 choices. Either the syrup is cold and the cake is hot, and we add the syrup, or the cake is cold and the syrup is hot. So both of them cannot be hot. One has to be hot and the other one has to be cold. So we take our big spoon and slowly, we pour our syrup onto the cake, slowly, and try also to get the corners. The cake is going to absorb the syrup on its own. It doesn't need anything else. So you try to also put the syrup in the corners, not only in the center, all around. As you can see, the syrup is being absorbed very quickly by the cake. So we keep adding our syrup. Till it's over. And then we wait for another half an hour for the syrup to be fully absorbed, and then we will cut a nice big piece.
Okay, thank you, Mom. Thanks very much.
See you later.
Enjoy. Okay, Mom, this is absolutely beautiful.
Yes, I think it turned out very, very nicely. So I think we deserve
one piece
of Karydopita or walnut cake.
Enjoy your dessert.